Yes, yes, this is Mr. Controversy, and this is the infamous three-point conversion station. Keep it locked.
Yes, yes. It's another beautiful Saturday morning. First day of fall. So excited. And I'm your host, Mr. Controversy. Did you miss me? And when I say the first day of fall, I'm excited. I mean, it's football, World Series, or MLB playoffs, then football, basketball, basketball. I'm just excited, y'all. This is the best time of sports. And we have a great show for you today lined up. But before we get into that, we want to thank our sponsors, Cindy Cuts Barbershop, Ortho Atlanta. And I want to say, I'm not doing this by myself. Of course, I got my crew in. I got my man on the ones and twos. He's doing work, so he ain't got to say nothing because we know. Matter of fact, I'm going to have somebody say what he's going to say. But I have G in there doing it. What up, G?
Yo.
Yeah, that was G. Yo, that was G. Also, I got my partner in crime, my road dog, D Intellectual. What up, D?
What up, though? You know it. Great Saturday, like you say, the first day of fall.
Yes.
It's been beautiful the last few days, but we about to get back to
Right, it doesn't feel like fall. It does now. Not even now. Fall usually is like 70. Yesterday was like it was like 8. No, it was like 80, 82. It just felt like that because it's been 98 here.
Yeah, and come Monday, it's gonna be back.
Right. But yeah, again, like I said, we have a great show lined up for you. We have some family in here coming in. He's family, not a guest anymore. And the fact that I've been on his show almost as much as he's been on mine, he's definitely family. H.O., what up, H.O.?
What up, fam? It is Saturday morning, and the great smell of fall is here.
Yes,
September the 21st, and to kick it off, you should be proud. You got Illinois playing a big game today. You got Michigan playing a big game today. You got Wisconsin. So Big Ten. This is where Big Ten football is.
Right.
It's time to rock and roll. Now, the intellectual said it's probably going to be up to 90 again next week, but probably not in Chicago.
Right. Not in Chicago, not in those Midwest areas. So.
Hey, it's definitely in the 70s at the crib.
Yeah,
Right.
see, so it's
But we have what we're talking about today is we're talking about, of course, Antonio Brown. He is released again. Oh, man, this dude. We're going to get into that. We're going to tackle that, get everybody's reaction on what's going on with that situation. Also, as H.O. mentioned, big games in college football. Wisconsin hosting Michigan. Georgia is hosting Notre Dame. I mean, man, big games, other big games as well. Then we're going to talk injured quarterbacks. We have a special guest coming on for that. We're going to talk about these teams. Of course, the Pittsburgh Steelers. And then you got to look at New Orleans Saints. They both suffered major injuries last week. So we're going to talk about who's in trouble, who has the most pressure on them. Then we got Mr. Pat Freeman, the mighty Oba, who covers the Buffalo Bills for the three-point conversion as well. And he's going to come in and talk about the Bills and where they're headed in the AFC East. And then we have the Atlanta Braves clinched the National League East.
absolutely
Twice. Second
to
time in
back.
a row. Back to back.
Yeah.
So,
Sure, we're gonna talk more about.
yeah,
that.
we're going to get into
Even
that.
if we don't, I will.
No, we're going to get into that. And then and then we have Ask the Doc with Dr. Fowler III from Ortho Atlanta, orthopedic from Ortho Atlanta. He's going to talk about all the major injuries. So make sure you let your family and friends know. If they're in Atlanta, they can listen to the show locally on the radio on 1100 AM WWWE, The Real. And also, they can go to Facebook, the 3-Point Conversion Facebook page, live. We're here. What's up, what's up, what's up? Then we're on radio, now TuneIn Radio, and iHeartRadio Live. All right? It's time to get to these quick hits. Let's get it. Shout out to Sherm Beats for the sick beats. So, first off, the NBA's Board of Governors unanimously approved a series of measures to more strictly enforce compliance with tampering and salary cap circumvention. Teams can be subject to fines up to $10 million, lose draft picks, executives can be suspended, and contracts can be voided when rules are not followed. In addition, teams must save communications with agents for 1 year, and random auditing of a team's communication with agents and other teams can take place. D, what does that mean?
Stop tampering.
Or you gonna get in trouble?
Like,
or you getting in trouble?
But I think, like, with that being said, right? I think the referendum, when they give them the time to allow them to start speaking, I think something with that should have changed, right? Mm-hmm. Like, either allow this date to be the date for free agents to sign, or don't. Because what is it, like a week before? You can talk to them a week before they can even sign? It's something like that, right?
Yeah, something crazy.
That really don't make sense for me, because, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of messing up the game too. You know what I mean? But I don't. The contract's being voided though. That's.
Yeah.
I mean, so you gonna make me sign with a team that I don't want to sign with?
That's big. I know, right? Moving on. So, Washington Wizards guard Isaiah Thomas suffered a ruptured radial collateral ligament in his left thumb during a routine workout with the team. He is expected to miss 6 to 8 weeks after having surgery. So he's about to adopt the name.
Can't get right.
Can't get right. All right,
man.
Your thoughts?
Can't get right.
Man, that's sad for him, man. You remember we talking about him getting $100 million?
No, 204.
Right, he was talking about getting all this cash, right? $200 million. And now he, like, every year he like minimum now.
Yeah, I would say this. It's karma is real. Mm-hmm. Because I don't know what he has done or did not do, but it's all gone downhill. I'm talking about faster than the herd. What's my skill name? Lindsey Vonn? Ain't that?
Yeah.
Lindsey Vonn. He must got a pair of her skis, and he's going downhill.
Yeah, that's
and that's pretty bad. And I feel bad for him, because I think that he had worked his way to
from a second round draft.
He worked his way to all the way, and now it's going downhill.
Yeah, it's sad to see him go down like that. Moving on, Houston's quarterback D'Eriq King set a new FBS record by passing for a touchdown and rushing for a touchdown in 15 consecutive games, a record previously held by Tim Tebow. During King's streak, he has thrown 42 TDs and rushed for 20 touchdowns. That's sick right there.
I don't care what conference you playing in, what anything. Right. To do that, them numbers, that means you can play some football.
Right. Yeah, those are big numbers, man. Happy for Mr. King.
But does the conference have anything to do with it? I'm just asking.
Some,
but that's still
like
big.
It's a big accomplishment. Yeah. But playing in the American,
I wouldn't. As you don't compare. I don't want to say you don't compare it to Tim Tebow. You know what I mean? Tebow was playing in the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like I said, it's still.
But that's still
good. No doubt about it.
Moving on. Yankees pitcher Domingo German is. Did I say his last name right?
Yeah.
German is not expected to pitch again this season after being placed on administrative leave under the MLB MLBPA joint domestic violence policy. Why is he placed on leave? But anyway, German is being investigated for allegedly slapping his girlfriend at an event at teammate CC Sabathia's home. Wow. With possibly someone from the commissioner's office as a witness.
He deserve it. And then some. First off, you don't put your hand on a woman anyway, right?
Right.
But if you are going to do it, how about you do it at the crib or in the comfort of your own home?
Right.
He going to do it at his friend's house with somebody from the commissioner office there. Boy, you don't deserve to play again.
Yeah, that's Jesus.
Does it hurt them going down the street?
Yes.
It does.
And then some, yeah.
It will. Moving on. The NFL will temporarily ban pyrotechnics and flame effects on playing field as they investigate a fire at Nissan Stadium during Week 2. I know y'all don't remember the fire that went crazy. Mm-hmm. They had the game was detained for a minute.
Right.
A machine malfunctioned before the Titans Colts game, catching on fire in the corner of the stadium, and it was right where the Titans were coming out the tunnel.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was huge. So it caused a delay and everything.
Yeah. Caused them to not play so well.
Moving on, and last but not least, the Heisman Trophy winner, Hopalong Cassidy, passed away at the age of 85. Cassidy won the award as running back at Ohio State in 1955. He would play 9 seasons in the NFL as a DB, then spent 30 years as a coach and scout in the Yankees organization. So give our condolences to him.
Definitely rest in peace.
Yeah.
To go from football to
Baseball.
that longevity in baseball, that's like when I heard it, I'm like, oh, wow.
Right, yeah, that's sad to hear. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
Good morning, this is Greg Hurd with your sports news break. The Atlanta Falcons are looking to start a winning streak as they travel to Indianapolis to face the 1-1 Colts. The Falcons are also 1-1. The Washington Redskins are hoping that defensive end Jonathan Allen is available to play in the Monday night game against the Chicago Bears after dealing with a knee injury. Coach Jay Gruden says he looked good in practice. The 1-1 Georgia Tech Yellow Jackets are looking to expand on their last. The 2-1 Georgia State Panthers are on the road against 0-3 Texas State. The Panthers are looking to advance to go to 3-1 for the first time in school history. The Atlanta United look to move up in the standings as they host the San Jose Quakes. Joseph Martinez has scored in 16 straight games. Make sure to follow the 3-Point Conversion for all of your major sports news and updates. It's where fans' opinions matter.
Hey folks, Handsome Josh is here to reveal some big news to all the AM 1100 listeners.
I have an app.
That's right, you can now check out all your favorite programs right here on The Real with The Real 1100 app. Whether it's sports, entertainment, or lifestyle, The Real 1100 definitely has you covered.
So why don't you just tell me how much it's going to cost me?
And here's the best part. It's available in your Google Play or Apple App Store, and it's free to download.
Actually, you can count me in on this one.
So download the Real 1100 app today and stay in tune with The Real.
Yo, this is Champ Bailey, 2019 Pro Football Hall of Famer. I just want to give a shout out to my boys at 3-Point Conversion Radio. There it is.
Get ready. From the oven to your ears, it's now time for the Hot Topic.
Yes. We are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. I'm your host, Mr. Controversy, with The Intellectual and Family H.O.
Yeah.
And this next segment, the hot topic, is brought to you by Cindy Cutter's Barbershop, located on 3000 Chapel Hill Road, Suite 206, Douglasville, Georgia. Make sure you check them out. Great barbershop. They're 24/7. I'm just kidding, but might as well be.
Might as well. What time you get yours at? What, 5 in the morning?
Yeah, so
that's 24/7, bro.
Yeah, they there, but everybody can cut. No empty chairs. Great sports talk, talking about the community, what they can do to help the community, unity, people falling in love, all that stuff is going up there. What up, Holyfield? And you can check out Dwayne Chambers. He is the barber. Once you come in, all the way down on the left, and you can follow him on Instagram at Simha the Barber. That's SIMHATHEBARBER. And just shout out again once to the whole barbershop for holding it down. All right, so the hot topic, man, this should be called the dumb topic.
The hot garbage.
So, your thoughts, y'all. I want the reaction. So, if y'all don't know, if you've been living under a rock, Antonio Brown has just been released once again.
Cut. Release sound nice.
Yeah,
he deserved a cut label.
Well, New England did it. They did it tasteful though. They did a release thing. It was, it wasn't like the Raiders. Like, go on there,
Yeah, but New England, a classy organization.
Yeah, that's how they do. We go to family first. Your thoughts?
Listen,
on this situation.
Belichick had the over and under. If you ask me about AB 3 times, we gonna do something about this.
And you know what? I think that's why he got cut.
Yeah, because you don't want to go through that drama.
And that's me and Mr. Controversy talked about it a little bit yesterday, right? Like, who wants to do that? Who wants to every time they get up to the podium? Even though I tell y'all, don't ask me nothing about AB. The first thing they ask is something about AB.
And when he walked off, you kind of knew
I'm done with this.
It was going to be
done
something.
with this.
Because he's not a...
So you can almost say the press got him cut.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
I mean, now to get to the thing is, you cannot continue to think you can do what you want to do as a NFL player.
Right.
How many people, I think it was just Antonio Brown when he came out of school. He had to prove himself.
Mm-hmm.
Then with Ben and Bell, he became AB.
And got the money.
So AB is the one who acts crazy. Antonio Brown is the receiver that worked his way from nothing to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel bad for AB. When I feel bad for Antonio Brown, I don't feel bad for AB.
No, that's a good way to put it because, like you said, the way he battled, and it seems like it's the Pittsburgh way. You got receivers that come up, they're not featured as that number one guy. The number one guy usually leaves,
right?
Do something to get in trouble,
somebody
whatever.
else step up,
and then somebody step up. I mean, we saw it in first it was Santonio Holmes,
right?
Then Emmanuel Sanders, Mike Wallace, then Emmanuel Sanders,
right.
And then AB, and AB stayed.
Right. Everybody else used to leave.
Like
right.
And then he leaves, but he forced his way out. But still, the dude need help, man. And like it you kind of like we were talking, and he told me, I didn't know this, and he was telling me that, I think you said his stepfather talked about how he always taught him he was entitled to everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then look at, you were saying he never paid. Go ahead, tell the story about his mom.
His mom, actually, this was his stepfather saying it, that his mom, just during the interview, was in the process of looking for a second job.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Brown's mom is in the process of looking for a second job. meaning she's still working. And not just working like she wants to work, like she has to work. You know what I mean? So that relationship is damaged there. So you can only understand that. You know, a mother and a son, or a mother and any child relationship, when that's an issue, that's something you need to look at, you know, overall. But also, his stepfather said that at one point in time, I think it was in high school, that she chose the man, you know, him at the time. And I think they moved out or whatever the case may be, somewhat to that. Like, she chose him, you know what I mean? Which I'm sure contributed to the way he's acting. They spoke to one of his Pee-wee coaches that told him always go out there and go hard, and which goes to his work ethic. But they had to go get him because he wasn't doing this in school, or he wasn't doing that. So it's all builds up to the person he is. However, which is what I was telling Raphael, is at some point you got to determine to be a man, right? Like your background, right? Mm-hmm. But when you turn 25, 26, 27, 28, when you become old enough to know the difference between right and wrong and what being a man is and what you're supposed to do, that's what you do. You know what I mean? But for me, it's coming off that he don't care about football no more. He said it a long time ago in that interview, right, that he has enough money. I don't need football. And tell me he's not acting like a person that does not need football.
Well, I think that to go along with that, I totally understand that story. But you have to understand, before he became AB, who was he? Mm-hmm. He was Antonio Brown. So none of those antics were a part of that.
But wait, we don't know, because here's the thing.
I'm going to tell you what contributed. Go ahead.
The Pittsburgh Steelers hold in a lot of information. Mm-hmm. James Harrison, Debo, he said it himself, that the way they do things there, it's a lot of stuff
that don't get out.
And
right.
He was talking about the coach, how he's a great coach. And I'm not trying to put this on the coach, but he said he's a great coach, but he doesn't have the respect. And he said when he went to New England, he saw it when, of course, I've said many times, when he saw Tom Brady running to get to film session because he was scared he was about to get fined and possibly suspended. So he probably did a lot of stuff back then. Now, he hasn't done anything. We see this situation with the women coming up, but for the most part, and he's still innocent because there hadn't been been any charges, but he hadn't messed up outside of football. But within that stadium, in the locker room, in the organization, he don't get it. And I've said this many times, man, he needs somebody in his corner to tell him, dude, you tripping. But it's got to be somebody he has to respect. It has to be like an OG. It can't be a friend. It can't be a cousin that he doesn't respect like that. It has to be somebody he respects.
And I think it goes back to that relationship with his mother, right? Mm-hmm. Like, so when you don't have that relationship with your mother, right, who you going to respect? Right? That means you don't really respect nobody, right?
Maybe a coach who...
Right, like that was there when he was 7 and
maybe.
But how he going to listen to him? Is he going to listen to him, or is he going to take it into consideration? Right. You know what I mean? And that's kind of had come off like he got a bunch of yes men or yes women or yeah.
Right.
But I'm going to tell you this. We don't know, and we are not supposed to know. Mm-hmm. But this is a situation where social media has downed another athlete again. Mm-hmm. Because remember, social media wasn't big when he was Antonio Brown. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't a Twitter. It wasn't his Facebook Live stuff. Now that he has become this AB, and now he's in character, and now he's able to tweet, he's able to be on social media and express himself. This is the social media curse that happens when you get big.
I mean, the biggest thing with that, it speaks to what just happened. What really got him released was the text messages. This is, I mean, first of all, we all know you shouldn't be.
That's what we was talking about yesterday. Like, why are you even texting this person?
I know he upset. I know he feels like like, man, you just trying to get money. I know he's upset, but, you shouldn't be. But that goes along with you need somebody to tell you, don't do that.
Right.
But think about it. The reason how I got out is the lawyer put it on social media. The lawyer didn't send it to the NFL. He didn't send it to the judge. He put it on social media.
Again, social media.
Right, that's what I'm saying.
That's
and it speaks to your point. And it's just
like you said, but dude, why are you texting her?
It's killing. We are not advanced enough to understand the strategies of how to use social media, especially when you become this big athlete. Because your story is just like Instagram. It's instant story. It's an instant story.
Right.
Shay Sharp said it, man. Before he had the money, like you said, he wasn't AB, right? He was Antonio Brown.
Now, he probably still had the same character.
but he had to sit down so he can get some money, right?
Right.
Now he got them big paydays. He's straight. Now you can act out and do whatever you want because your talent going to allow you to whatever the case may be, right? And now you got enough money that you don't need football. Right. Remember I said that he said that in the interview.
Take care of mom.
5 years, right? We know he ain't taking care of mom. 5 years ago, you think that boy would have said he don't need football?
No.
Right, and so
one game, $9 million.
So let me ask you all.
Don't forget to say that one game, $9 million.
Right. So let me ask you all. Do you all think that he's coming back to play? Will he ever play again?
That's tough.
So what you said yesterday when we were speaking about it was a very valid point. For him to come back, I think he need to sit down this whole season because the NFL is one of them big out of sight, out of mind situations, right? Like if you get out the way for a minute and let stuff boil down and get out of the news and it's not a big issue, and you come back and show talent and come back and not try to be AB and not be this selfish, self-centered individual, possibly. But I don't know. And I hate to say he don't deserve it because you never want, somebody not to be able to be in their profession. But the way he's been acting, does he deserve to play again?
Yeah, the only,
but
you talking about franchises that you've been to, like you go to the Raiders. Most people, it's this perception you go to the Raiders to die.
Right.
When the end of your career.
Last stops. You get last stops.
Maybe Charles Woodson kind of,
changed it up. Right.
Changed it up a little bit. Marshawn Lynch went there. Okay, we heard from him since.
Right.
So you leave the Raiders and go to the Patriots. Now, we know the Patriots. It's like if the Patriots cut you.
It's a problem. Josh Gordon smoked reefer air the weekend, and you know what I'm saying? They let him.
But that's why I say he's coming back. I mean, it's talent going to supersede this, especially if he beats this case. Mm-hmm. Talent's going to beat that.
But see, the thing about it, it's not even a case.
But listen.
You know what I'm saying? It's not even a case.
If Mike Vick could come back from what he did.
Right.
Hold on. Let me finish. I don't care what you all say, and this is horrible. But, I can't say what I want to say. But the United States, they rather you
do something to a person than a pet.
If Mike Vick raped a woman, I guarantee you he wouldn't have gotten what he got.
16 months.
They don't play with animals, and you were able to come back. So I'm just listen. Hold on. I'm just saying.
I get you.
The thing is with talent. Remember, he hadn't done. If he beats that case, he hadn't done anything off the field. We saw T.O. the same way. It was a different situation, but in the locker room. Disruptive is what they said. Always, but he went, even after Philly, he got signed by Dallas. After Dallas, he got signed by Cincinnati. After Cincinnati, he got signed by Buffalo. Antonio Brown will be back in the NFL. Is this somebody who had to deal with it? Now, what we hope is, hopefully he's out for a year. And the reason why I say hopefully, not taking money from him, but the simple fact that you want him to get humbled. If he's humble, then maybe he comes back. You know what? Because T.O. was humble when he went to Cincy. You didn't see that anymore, even with Buffalo.
And that's what I was going to say about the T.O. and the Vic. Apologetic. They became apologetic, right?
Right.
They humbled themselves and became apologetic. I think that's one of the biggest things. And maybe, like you said, him sitting out this year will allow him to do that and see some of the mistakes he made and pull himself in like, you know what? I did mess this up. I did this, that, and the third. You know what I mean?
I think the thing with Oakland Raiders is the Oakland Raiders, he came back and he apologized to the team. But he got blindsided with that. We're taking your
fine.
It was like 50.
Not fine, but no.
Oh, the guarantee.
No, after the fine, he came back and apologized.
Yeah, the fine was that.
When they took his guarantee, he was all,
I
no,
got
I'm not playing for y'all.
Yeah.
You know, and I think after that.
At that point, it was a per game.
Right. He was ready to leave, and I think he was getting himself out.
I can understand that.
And like I said, this situation with sending a text, you don't do that. You're not supposed to talk to a lawyer. But from him, it came from I'm about to prove that, why are you trying to take my money? And he made a mistake. He didn't have that person. You know what I'm saying? But at that time, Patriots, look, bro, we don't operate like that.
I think if he pissed the wrong person off, we've seen people not find them way back on the team. It only takes one person to piss off and say, nobody. We're going to give you the cutthroat. If you sign him, we're not doing it.
And I hate to take it there because it's always the situation, but imagine everything he's doing. And again, I hate to take it there, but it's always all Cap did was kneel.
And then you have people trying to compare him to Cap. So
yeah, it's
whatever, man.
Nah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break. Great segment. We'll be right back to talk more football. Keep it locked.
There's a lot going on in the world, and your world is always changing. That's why it's important to stay connected. The latest news, the latest entertainment, the newest music. If it's in the air or on the air, it can be in the palm of your hand, wherever you are, with the iHeartRadio app.
iHeartRadio.
Over 1,500 live radio stations from across the country, and over 15 million songs to create your own custom stations. Text IHR to 45495 to download the app or listen at iHeartRadio.com. Standard text and data rates apply.
What's up, people? I'm Real Mike Robb, Super Bowl champion of the Seattle Seahawks. You're listening to 3-Point Conversion. Let's get it.
All right. So angry. All right, we're back. And look, man, what you say earlier. Oh, before we get in, we got a quick call. We're gonna make it quick. Caller, go ahead.
What's up? I'm Real Mike.
Turn your radio down.
All right, you there?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. What's going on, man? What you got?
Hey, this Bruce calling in from Chicago.
What up, Bruce? What's your thoughts,
what up,
man?
Though? Man, my thought is y'all tripping if y'all think he don't deserve to play again. You know, dude is a butthole. But if he could humble himself and just stay out the way, like Dennis was saying, if he could just stay out the way for a year, come back, his talent will definitely supersede the garbage. But will he? That's the question. My opinion is no, because dude a butthole, and he good already. With T.O., it was totally different. T.O. was broke. Dude, not broke. He might don't pay his bills. You know, he got a lot of history of that, but he not broke. Right. So, hey, when they take your money away and you ain't got no money, yeah, you're going to be humble. That's why T.O. humble. T.O. still trying to get in the league, so that's kind of like different.
Hey,
dude
man.
just got,
I'm sorry.
He just got all that money, man. He not tripping.
Hey, appreciate the call, Bruce. Appreciate that call. Yeah, you're right, man. That's something to think about, the fact that T.O. was broke. Hey, but I think AB still loves the game. Like I said, I don't know. We'll talk about it later on. So we have more time. Great call. All right, like you said, fall, college football.
Mm-hmm. It's him.
Time to get into this college football.
It's him.
But we all want to start off like we always do with the nosy neighbor watch. I'm gonna go with you, D. Your nosy neighbor. Who's your nosy neighbor watch right now?
My nosy neighbor watch is going to be Texas. We know that they, already lost to LSU, and they can't afford to lose again. That may not be a playoff disqualifier because you lost to a top team. However, they're playing Oklahoma State now, who they've lost to 5 straight games in Austin, which doesn't happen much. So if they lose there, then they can pretty much X out being in the playoffs.
Mm.
Yeah, that's Mr. Herman.
Go ahead. You got
actually, I got 2, to be honest with you, because it's college football and it's that time of the year. One is Notre Dame goes down to Georgia, and we've seen over the last couple of weeks, it looks like Jalen Hurts gets a lot of talk. Justin Fields getting a lot of ink. Tua threw for 400 yards this past week. But Georgia has a guy that's been to the national championship game and the SEC championship game as well, and Jake Fromm, who ran out 2 5-star quarterbacks in Georgia. Mm. So, but he doesn't get a lot of ink. I think that this is the opportunity to where he's playing a big reputation game as far as Notre Dame, this is the stage where he's going to have to show that I need some ink. You're in your house. You're a 14-point favorite. You're the number 3 team in the nation based on rankings. What is Jake Fromm going to do? This is the opportunity for him to put himself in the limelight of the quarterbacks that we see week in and week out to show that he is that guy. Another one is we talk about quarterback and we don't talk about running backs a lot. Jonathan Taylor for Wisconsin, this is your time to shine. Can you propel your team against a Big Ten team in Michigan to get to New York? Well, we done seen you have a 2,000-yard year. We almost back to back. I think it was 12 or 18 yards away from one from last year. This is your time to shine because it looks as if all quarterbacks will be in New York, but this is the time where you can go and show the world that I am the running back that needs to be in New York.
Yeah, we're gonna get into those games as well. My nosy neighbor watch is USC. I want to see what happens in USC. They won a big game last night over number 10 ranked Utah, and so they lost JT Daniels, right? Mm-hmm. He's out for the year.
Right.
Your backup, who played well, beat Stanford, comes in. He gets knocked out within the first 2 minutes. Keaton Slovis. Then you get Matt Fink comes in. I think he's a 5-year senior. Could have left, but chose to stay, knowing he wasn't going to start. Mm-hmm. Comes in, throws for 351 yards, 3 touchdowns. Wins the game over this number 10 ranked team when they're not ranked. What is USC going to do now? What's going to happen with the quarterback situation?
Fink's a junior.
He's a junior?
He's a junior.
They have him listed as a senior. So, I don't know. They have him
fourth-year junior.
Fourth-year junior. Okay. So, that's what it was. That's why it's a fifth-year senior. But he's a junior, senior. He's slow fast. But he but the fact that now you have these quarterbacks with 2. Slovis, he was good. He beat Stanford. But now you have Fink come in, do what he did against a ranked team. What are you going to do now? It's a good problem, but what are you going to do? That's my nosy neighbor watch.
Yeah, they're going to have to figure out a AD first to continue because I mean, so depending on because when they get a new AD, you don't know what's going to happen with the coaching staff.
Is the AD thinking like Because he didn't leave off.
Resigned.
He resigned.
Lance Swan resigned.
So do you think Swan is thinking like,
I left too soon?
Yep. Like, man.
I mean, I don't know if that's the. I think.
I think the issue was, the president or people wanted Swan to fire Clay Helton,
right? Yeah.
And he didn't want to.
I see USC guy.
And so.
So you're gonna give up your job instead of fire somebody else?
Well, he doesn't want. He wasn't going to be responsible. But I just feel like we talked about this for at least 3 years.
Yep.
What USC is going to do? Hire somebody
who
went to USC.
Right. Yep. That's what they do.
Unless somehow they can get Urban Meyer.
Well,
I really don't see it.
You heard about the talk about that, right? The lady president don't want Urban Meyer. That's so.
Well, it's going to end up being Jack Del Rio. And what is Jack? What school did Jack Del Rio go to?
USC.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow. So let's get back to the big games and what H.O. was saying. Georgia, Notre Dame. In book. He had a chance in the playoffs. They made the playoffs, right? Last year. Yeah, he had a chance. They played Clemson. Was it?
I think so.
Yeah. And they got routed. It was ugly. But here's a chance to kind of redeem yourself, to play in this big game. Remember last year when he came in, he played in a big game, and it was unexpected. Right.
Nobody was checking for him.
Yeah. This game, you're not in a location where, no one has a home field advantage. You're traveling to Athens to play this number 4 ranked team, or number 3, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Number 3 ranked team. What does he do? Does he bounce back? Is this the time for him? How do you think he responds?
I think, like I was telling D earlier, I think that Notre Dame has had this game circled for a long time, ever since the offseason. They have a bitter taste in their mouth because Georgia came up to touchdown Jesus and beat Notre Dame, which propelled Georgia to a national championship because it helped them. This is an opportunity to where it can help Notre Dame because every time Notre Dame gets down to the end of the season, they really have no quality wins because they play 5 ACC teams. They play Army, Navy, Stafford. Right. And those teams doesn't really help their schedule strength. But this is an opportunity. Brian Kelly, this is your opportunity. You are a 14-point underdog going to Athens. If you have held everything out, not run certain plays, and played vanilla the whole season, and now we're going to see something, I think that it may be closer than people think. I do not think a 14-point spread is going to live out the way that people think, or at least Vegas. Vegas thinks. I think it'll be closer than what we think. And Book has not thrown the ball well this year. They have not even thrown the ball at all, really, because he's tied as the leading rusher with Mr. Jones Jr. So I think all of the stunts and all of everything that Notre Dame has will come out blazing today in Athens, because I think they have been playing vanilla the whole season until they had this game to come up, because I think this is going to be one of those games where it says, this is our own opportunity. Because if you look at Stanford, now maybe USC. I'm not sure. We don't know what's going to happen by the end of the year, because I think they play them next to the last game of the season. So this is one of the opportunities that Notre Dame has to kind of put something into their resume to help them this year.
So now the big game, you got Michigan and Wisconsin. You talked about Jonathan Taylor. We hadn't mentioned Dennis' favorite guy, John Harbaugh.
Jim
Harbaugh. I'm sorry, Jim Harbaugh. Yeah, Jim Harbaugh. And Jim, this guy, the thing is, and we'll break down the game, but his record as far as when he first came in, he couldn't win a big one at first, right? He couldn't beat Ohio State. He still can't.
Right.
But he couldn't beat Ohio State. He couldn't win that significant win, against, was it Michigan State, I think? Mm-hmm. The block punt, the messed up punt, botch punt and all that. So
just whatever big game.
But then it kind of changed the last 2 years. He was winning the big games, but losing to Ohio State. Not even that. And then it was losing to Weber State, North Dakota or something. And it's so you got this big game this early, which they don't usually have. What if they lose this game? Do you think it's over? We know what it should be, but is it over?
I don't want to say that. I guess it's going to be dependent on how he loses, right? If it's complete blowout, I think they're gonna have to make a move. But if he wins this, I think it's still gonna be the Ohio State without Urban Meyer being there.
Yeah, because that's the biggest, right? Like
I agree. Even if you lose this, but if you go to Ohio State or even if you win this, however you win it, right? Your first 2 weeks, we've seen what it was. Like they barely should be 2-0, right? Mm-hmm. Like they could easily be 0-2 with the drop of a dime. But now you come do whatever here, then you go to Ohio State without an Urban Meyer and you lose, it's going to be like, dude left you the champion. He left you the Big Ten championship and you still can't do nothing with it.
This game right here, though, today, if he wins, it erases everything that happened the season, I'm saying, the two barely wins.
Right. It knocks that out.
I'm not so sure. Listen, he goes out and he kind of did something like Orgeron did. Orgeron took his hands off of the offense and said, look, I'm going to bring the offensive coordinator, turn it over to you. Mm-hmm. So Harbaugh brings in the offensive coordinator and said, we're going to speed it up. We're going to throw the ball all the way around the field and things of that nature. We're going to do this and that. So now this is the first test of many that Michigan is going to have throughout the season. Wisconsin is just the first test. This is like the first hurdle that you're going to have to cross. I think because they got the receiver Tariq Black coming back, big receiver. Shea Patterson has turned the ball over in an amazing amount of times in the first two games. They've had turnovers galore. MTSU. Then you go to overtime with Army. Maybe they were playing vanilla, but you can't afford to play vanilla with the reputation that you've already had.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So I'm not necessarily sure if winning today erases this because you know what you got going in the future.
Right.
Urban Meyer's not here, and you guys still face Ohio State. You're going to have to play Michigan State, which is going to be another hurdle. So I'm not necessarily sure. My thing is it just takes the heat off maybe for a second until he gets to the next hurdle.
And also to something you speak on, Wisconsin hasn't played anybody. You know what I mean?
Right. We talked about it.
So
no one has scored a touchdown on them yet.
Right. But they ain't played nobody.
Well, we'll see today. It's a big game, two big games. We'll get answers today. We hadn't had that this year, honestly, in a while.
Right.
You know, we got an answer from LSU. We weren't looking for the answer. We weren't even asking the question.
Right.
But it came through. But these two games, we're asking questions. We'll see.
As we get into the season, it starts getting more interesting.
All right, so we're going to take a quick break. We will be right back to talk more football, but on the NFL side, talk about these injuries to these big-time quarterbacks and teams. Keep it locked.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
Hey y'all, it's Channel 2's Taisha Fernandez, and you need to listen to the 3-Point Conversion. 3-Point Conversion. 3-Point Conversion. 3-Point Conversion. 3-Point Conversion. 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. All right, we're about to get into this next segment, but we have a guest who's going to join us with this next segment. And let me introduce him because last week we had the Battle of Ages for Battlegrounds. People were asking, can we do it again? Can we do it again? Overtime. We need a second battleground for them to go through. I get it. We couldn't. I wanted it also. And I want to shout out to both of them, Ray J. Lynn and Darrell Owens Sr. Both of them did great. But Mr. Ray came out with the victory. And I want to bring him on to join us in this segment. Ray, what's going on, sir?
What is good, my man, Mr. Controversy?
How you feeling, man?
I'm good, man. And you know what? You said it. I can say it now. You know, the last two battles I had, dudes was like, man, Ray J bought it. I couldn't bring myself in the midst of a battle to say my competition was good, but it's over now, man. He came with it, man. He came with it.
That's good, man. That's good, man.
Definitely.
You will get that prize. We will send that out, so you'll get that prize next week, all right? So,
For sure.
all right, so you're joining us in this segment, and we let the winner pick the segment, and this is his segment. This is what he picked. So, last week we saw, fellas, two big-time quarterbacks go down, and two big-time teams that were expected to be big. Ben Roethlisberger with his elbow, he's out for the year. Mm-hmm. Then Drew Brees goes out with his hand, I think it was his thumb. He's out 6 to 8 weeks, something like that. We don't know, but depends on how he heals. So now Mason Rudolph and Teddy Bridgewater comes in and play. I'm gonna start off with our guest, the winner. Who right now do you think is in the most trouble, man? Like who? Which team?
Pittsburgh. Without a doubt. Pittsburgh is in a lot more trouble. Well, I mean, first off, their quarterback is going for the year, which may be a good thing for Tomlin. That's going to be the scapegoat, being got hurt. But, I mean, their quarterback is going for a year. We know he's done for the year. We don't know anything about Mason Rudolph as an NFL quarterback besides what we saw this past Sunday. On the flip side, people forget just 2-3 years ago, Teddy Bridgewater was a starting quarterback that went 11-5 and threw for 3,000 yards. So he's not new to this. So, and then you look at New Orleans' schedule. If Brees is only out for 6 weeks, they got 3 winnable games in there. They got Tampa Bay, they got Jacksonville, they got Arizona. If he can manage to go 3-3 in his time, because I think they'll lose to Dallas, and I think they'll lose to Seattle. I can't remember who the 6th game is against. But if he can manage to go 3-3, that division's still going to be up for grabs. Tampa Bay is trash. Carolina's losing Cam. So nobody's going to run away with the division in the next 6 weeks. So if Teddy Bridgewater can manage to go 3-3, New Orleans can still salvage this season. That's still a team that was a bad call away from a Super Bowl.
Right. D, who do you think? Who do you have?
Yeah, I got to say Pittsburgh, too. Like you said, we don't know much about Mason Rudolph, but also they started 0-2, and they looked horrible by not having AB and Le'Veon Bell. Like, it looked very bad even when Ben was there. Mm-hmm. Now you're throwing Mason Rudolph into the fire. And, again, we don't know what he's going to do. He may put up some decent numbers, but he still don't have the help at all.
Right.
I think I'm going to go with New Orleans. And the reason is because I didn't really expect much from Pittsburgh this year anyway. Right. Their expectations to me was, okay, you had a whole lot of stuff going on in the locker room, and we just go kind of wait and see this out and see how this plays out.
Right.
New Orleans, the way that they lost last year, the expectations of everybody picking them to win the division and things of that nature, that is the expectations for that team every year. And this is the kicker. I understand that Bridgewater was a 3,000-yard, 11-5 starting quarterback, but he's not Drew Brees with Sean Payton. Drew Brees is basically the coach on the field. So a lot of what Sean Payton calls Brees and him has such a connection that the majority of what everything goes through is through Brees, as far as checking down, as far as putting people in the right spots. Now Sean Payton has to change his whole coaching aspect for 6 weeks just to get Bridgewater into some of the things that he can do pretty well. So I think I think New Orleans is in trouble more because of that particular fact. Now Carolina's 0-2, the Falcons 1-1. So are we even count Tampa as a team right now?
They 1-1 right now.
Yeah, I mean they 1-1, but at the same time, this is a division that you can't afford to lose. Any kind of games. But the good thing about it is a lot of the division games that New Orleans will play will be on the back end of their schedule, so that could help them.
I'll make it short so we get to the next question. I agree with New Orleans. I did expect a lot out of Pittsburgh, but, I mean, with New Orleans in order for them to go to the Super Bowl and be successful, get there, they have to have home field advantage. They're not really a great road team like that, So forget the division. They can win a division. But if they don't have home field advantage and they have to travel to L.A. or to Chicago or to Green Bay or whoever, they're in trouble. And I think that's going to hurt them the most. Now, that'll lead to the next question. So go back to Ray. Now, who has the most pressure? And not just the season, but period. Who has the most pressure? Is it Bridgewater or is it Rudolph?
Absolutely Bridgewater. Piggyback on something you just said about New Orleans, newsflash, they wasn't going to have home field advantage no way. I don't know why people sleeping on Dallas. But Teddy Bridgewater absolutely has, like you said, we're talking about a Super Bowl caliber team. So the coaches, the organization, the fans got to be thinking what I'm thinking. We can beat Jacksonville with Teddy Bridgewater. We can beat Arizona with Teddy Bridgewater. So if he goes out and stinks it up, I mean, he looked at it as a scapegoat. And on top of that, like we said, Mason Rudolph, all the excuses in the world. No matter how bad he played, nobody's going to expect anything from him. This may be Teddy Bridgewater's last shot to prove that he can play at this level and be successful in this league. So he's under a lot of pressure, I believe.
Yeah, I'm going to say Bridgewater, too. Pretty much everything that he said, along with Teddy Bridgewater taking a big contract this past offseason to be Drew Brees' backup and possibly, step up after Drew Brees, retires. That's what the expectations were. I think he has the biggest contract as a backup. So if you're getting paid like that, you're going to need to come out and at least be competent,
I think that I'm going to agree with Ray. Bridgewater has shown he's been a starter. So we have developed some type of expectations for him at some point because he was an 11-5 starter. So at some point, he was Minnesota's, I guess, air quotes, franchise guy. He came back and did some good things in the preseason, I think with Baltimore last year or whatnot. So the expectation for him is, okay, we know he can play. We've seen this before. With Mason Rudolph, it's an unknown commodity. We don't know nothing. The only thing we know is that he threw a whole bunch of yards at Oklahoma State, and that's all we know.
To Washington, right?
You know what I'm saying? Exactly. So he has a familiar target in Pittsburgh, but we don't know. The commodity is unknown. So until we can gather some information about what Mason Rudolph can and cannot do, yeah, Bridgewater has the expectation, so he has the most.
Well, I look at it a different way. I don't think it's Bridgewater. I think this is a chance for Bridgewater to show what he can do. So I think this is the opportunity. And then you got to look at it like this. Bridgewater, he got that contract. He was brought in to basically, we're probably going to give you the team after Breeze retire. Whereas Rudolph, this is your chance to show us that you're going to be our starter.
You're going to take over for.
If you're not, you have everything. If you can't do this, then we're going to draft someone else.
And a full season. You got the full season.
So I think, around table, 20 seconds, I just need to know what you think New Orleans record is going to be. Ray, I'm going to go with you.
I'm thinking they're going to go 3-3 while Breeze is out. Now, what happens when he comes back, I don't know. But like I said, I see 3 winnable games while he's out, meaning I'm looking at 4-4 by the time he comes back. So I'm thinking they could still go 10-6 on the season. I can see that.
I think they're going to surprise a few people, and they might get one out of Dallas, and they might go 4-2. 4-2 while Breeze out in the season, 11-5.
You asking the Falcon fan.
0-6.
Let me give a disclaimer.
He said, "I don't remember."
No, I hopefully 3-3 at the best. At the worst, maybe 2-4. But then you got a division game. I think they finished 9-7 in the season, though.
Man, I think Breeze is going to miss 8 weeks.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be that.
I think they go 5-3. I think they beat Dallas. Yeah. I think you're going to see the best coaching from Sean Payton. That's the key. They have Sean Payton. He's a guy that knows how to coach. He's great offensively. He's going to put schemes together. And I'm not. Bridgewater's a pro,
and he's been there. He's been, and it's not his first.
And not even,
even
that. He has talent around him.
Yeah,
good talent. So we're about to go. Hey, real quick, I want to give you. Bear with me, please. I'm gonna give Ray. I'm gonna give you 2 minutes. It's gonna be like battlegrounds, but I'm gonna give you 2 minutes to talk about what you want to talk about. You have the floor. You deserve this. What you got, sir?
I'll stay on the same topic because I was thinking this. As a backup quarterback, you're looking at Mason Rudolph and Teddy Bridgewater. Do you think those guys are happy right now? Like, if I'm in their shoes, I'm happy. The organization might be upset. The fans might be upset. The owners might be upset. But if I'm Teddy Bridgewater and Mason Rudolph, I am excited. You're a professional football player. You don't work your whole life to get to this point. Yeah, you're a backup. Yeah, you want the team to do well, but you also want your shot. And if we look at Mason Rudolph, Pittsburgh started 0-2. If we recall, back in 2001, there was a team that started 0-2 with a great quarterback. People forget how good Drew Bledsoe was. Some kid, 6th round, out of Michigan that nobody expected anything from, comes in and goes 11-3 the rest of the way, and they win the Super Bowl. So if I'm Mason Rudolph, I'm ready to show everybody, this is going to be my job moving forward, period. I'm ready for them to move on with me at the helm. I would be super excited. And we've seen it even on a smaller scale. People forget Alex Smith was having his best season of his career. Missed a couple of games. Cat comes in, brings a different dynamic, stole his job. So if you those guys, you got to think, I'm coming in to play for my career. I'm coming in to take this job. So I'm excited to see what they're going to do. Again, I still believe Bridgewater has the most pressure. But Mason Rudolph has the biggest opportunity. He got 14 more games to show everybody what he can do. So excited to see it, man.
All right.
You in the battlegrounds, champ. You might have got to stop it.
Why?
Bringing up Brady.
Why?
Somebody else did that. What's dude named Luke Falk? What's the quarterback?
The Jets quarterback?
That started. Somebody said the same thing. He the 199th pick, and he came in.
I agree with that though. I mean, I don't think he's going to do it, but I understand. My thing is, Ray being a homer. We're going to bring up Michigan. But all right, man. Hey.
But I hate New England, though.
I know. Hey, let me real quick, let everybody know where they can follow you, man.
Hey, man, if y'all see, I'm on Facebook, the Sports Reporter without pay. But follow me, but listen, because there's some probably people listening because I posted this link. Follow these guys, man. The 3-point conversion. You guys are doing big things, man. I love your content. Follow them. The 3-point conversion, and follow the Sports Reporter without pay as well.
Yes, sir. And you just never know. Somebody might get signed to a big contract because of this. Just keep looking. Hey, they don't know, do they? But anyway, we're going to take a quick break. Appreciate it, Ray. I'll holler at you, man. All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Stop It.
What's happening? It's your man Big T doing big things. Y'all know what it is. ATL Hawks official DJ and Rap City forever. You're checking out the 3-Point Conversion Radio. You dig?
You're tuned into WWE AM 1100.
The opinions expressed during the sponsored programs on this station are strictly those of the program hosts, guests, and callers and are not necessarily those of Beasley Broadcast Group, this station, its staff, other advertisers, or agencies.
Big ups to our Sports Lounge crew for keeping the airways blazing each and every Saturday. But I want to send another special shout out to our team of writers at the 3-Point Conversion. You can visit us at the3pointconversion.com. You can also like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter. How about the Gram? How about iHeart? How about Spreaker Radio? How about wherever you need it, baby? We got you covered. No mercy. Don't let up on him. Go hard on him, Mr. Controversy. Hit him with the stop it button.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. It's time we'd like to thank everyone who is supporting us, and we ask you to continue to support us. We appreciate all the support, and actually not just support the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge, but support the 3-Point Conversion in itself, the company. And real quick, I want to give a special shout out to a bad man. This dude has he has had multiple fights and multiple people get knocked down when they fight him. That dude is a beast. He's at the barbershop right now waiting to get a haircut. My man Bentley, the boxer, Dimitri Bentley. What's up, Bent? Hey, man, I know he's got a fight on the 28th at the Buckhead Theater. He's fighting this, I don't know, some guy named, I don't know why he said this. He's fighting somebody. I'm not going to say that, but he's fighting somebody. But we're rooting for Bentley to knock him out. Knock him out, champ. We got to get you on the show, bro. Make it happen. All right, so now it is time for the most infamous, the most famous Stop It segment. Let's get it.
Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it.
Yes. S-T-O-P, new word, I-T. Stop it.
Stop it. Get some help.
All right, D, it's on you.
I'm going to give a stop it to the Tennessee Titans' whole offensive line. For not only not being able to stop Calais Campbell, he was on a tear. He had 3 sacks, 4 tackles for loss, 5 QB hits. But overall as a team, the Jaguars had 9 sacks, 14 QB hits. 14 QB hits. That, regardless of what Mariota could have tried to do, when you got pressure coming like that,
why
man,
they were blaming him like
what you want me to do? And he still passed for what, 300 yards?
Yeah, that was crazy. That was crazy. What you got, sir?
My stopper goes out to the NFL Rule Committee for implementing this PI replay system, because even with replay, you're still getting it wrong. I have no earthly idea. It's clear what pass interference is. I'm seeing replays where people are getting mugged before the ball get there, and they're still not reversing calls. Listen, at this particular point, you know, this game of football with these rules, it is getting ridiculous. So I'm giving the NFL Rules Committee a stop it for implementing this dumb rule, and you're still getting it wrong.
Stop it. Hey, yeah, I think the NFL did that purposely just to show y'all. Stop crying. All right, I'm gonna make this real quick. I have 3 stoppers. I just inherited another stop. We're gonna give a stopper to Dwayne Chambers, Simha the barber. giving me words to say that I can't say on the radio. Also,
Stop it.
We're gonna give a stop it to Kaepernick and his people for trying to contact NFL players to get on the team when you just signed this deal, knowing they ain't messing with you.
Stop it.
And then my stop it goes to Iowa and Iowa State. They released a statement. Both colleges released a statement asking college football fans to treat the marching bands better.
Stop it.
Yeah. All right, do you have one?
Yeah, I got one. Mine goes out to Tim Tebow for his comments about the pay-for-play bill. The way he described it is if like he's on the side of education should be enough for the players, but if we remember, Tebow was homeschooled, and we don't see him at any of the Florida alumni events. And he actually has no idea who he actually played with while he was at Florida, as far as what they may have been going through. He came from a little money, but not not all his teammates came from money. So, it's a stop it because I really think that Tim Tebow has no friends. Yeah.
Wow.
Stop it.
We spoke on that a little bit last week.
Real quick, I got a good stop I got to put. That's on the text on Facebook. Arnold Glass, what up, cuz? He said a Curvier high school swimmer won, only to be disqualified because of a suit wedgie.
What?
She had a wedgie.
And she got disqualified for
yes.
that?
It was a uniform violation. Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Sexual assault.
Jeez.
Let me break down to y'all what's so dope about the three-point conversion. First of all, everybody is a fan of the game first. Second of all, everybody is a student of the game second. And third of all, we're the average sports fan just like everybody else. We're not coming in here, walking with our nose tipped high, acting snooty, acting brand new. This is a grassroots organization. Bar none. The three-point conversion, where fans' opinions matter. Be sure to visit the website www.the3pointconversion.com. Get your fix, get your articles, multimedia, and everything else that you, as a sports fan, need. So again, the3pointconversion.com. It's where it's at, man, where fans' opinions matter.
I'm Tommy Harris, and I'm with the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. Holla at me.
All right, we are back inside the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge. We have a guest here today. This man has helped me out in many ways, but as a mentor, he's helped me out, showed me the way. But then he's helping us out. He covers the Buffalo Bills and reports for us as well. And also, he has his radio show, and you can follow him on YouTube. The Pro Talk with the Mighty Oba, and we call him the Mighty Oba. Great show. My man, Mr. Pat Freeman. What's going on, sir?
Hey, how you doing?
We're good. We're good. We're gonna get into it, man. We want to ask you. You cover the Buffalo Bills. We're a lot of teams are surprised. A lot of fans are surprised about the Bills. They're 2-0. What is the atmosphere like in Buffalo right now?
Oh, it's crazy. Bills haven't been 2-0 in a number of years, and they're expecting a little bit more from this team. But you know, you're going to be measured by the best in your division in the AFC, and I don't think the Bills have played those teams as of yet. I don't think the Jets or the Giants are a true test, even though one thing about those two games, the Bills were behind in both games and could have folded, and they didn't. They came from behind, so that's a good sign.
So what do you attribute?
Attribute?
Yeah, no, I was going to bring up the Devin Singletary.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Now, we know Devin Singletary has been ruled out this upcoming game tomorrow, but he has shined in the first two games. Do you think he'll take over the starting job from Frank Gore once he, returns from the injury?
Oh, eventually, yes. Devin Singletary can ball. There's no question about it. He's got a nice little wiggle. He's excellent coming out of the backfield. He's much better running in between the tackles than I thought. But he does have a hamstring injury, and that's not good for a running back. So I'm expecting Singletary to possibly be out until after the bye. You've got a bye coming up after they play the Titans on October the 6th, and I think after the bye he should be okay. But if they bring him back before then, there's a chance with a hamstring with a running back that you can re-aggravate it. I think they need to take their time and let the guy heal up. But when he does come back, he's proven to be a pretty good runner at the NFL level.
Do you think he will start? That's what I want to know. Will at some point this year will he take over the starting running back position over Frank Gore?
Yeah. No question. Frank is 35 years old, but Frank is still playing well. But he is 35 years old, and 35-year-old running backs, as the season goes on, are going to get those nagging injuries that come with age. And age is undefeated. It has won every battle. So I'm expecting Devin Singletary to definitely take over that starting position eventually.
Hey, Pat, this H.O. want to ask you about what do you think has attributed to this 2-0 start? When you look at the teams that they played, they've scored, over 17 points in both games. The defense has kind of been good. Josh Allen seems to be that next guy with some surprises. What do you think is contributed more to this 2-0 start, in your opinion?
Defense. I think the defense, Leslie Frazier's done an excellent job. Why he has not gotten more, he didn't even go for an interview for a head coaching job. Whereas you got guys like Adam Gase, they get a job after being terrible, getting fired. It doesn't make any sense.
Preach.
But Leslie Frazier's done an excellent job, and you can see he's a seasoned pro because he made a very quick adjustment against Saquon Barkley last week. Saquon was taking him down the field those first couple of drives they had. But Leslie Frazier made a very good adjustment, and the Bills kind of shut him down after that. Even though the Giants helped them, they didn't try to run the ball anymore. But I think it's the defense. I think Ed Oliver has come in, Shaq Lawson, Jerry Hughes. You've got a pretty good defensive front. And your linebacking core with Lorenzo Alexander, Tremaine Edmonds, you got some good guys out there, Matt Milano. And your back end, I think it's one of the best back ends in the NFL, especially at the safety position with Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde. These guys are playing at a very high level. And you've got Tre'Davious White, Kevin Johnson at the corners, and Levi Wallace. You've got some pretty good talent on that defensive side of the ball. And offensively, I think John Brown has been a great surprise to a lot of people because they thought he was just fast. But John Brown has a wider range of route running ability, and he really has done well these first two games.
All right. You're playing Cincinnati tomorrow, but if you look ahead, you got New England coming up. Could this be a trap game for you guys?
I asked them that. If you look at some of the interviews I did for three-point conversion, I kept asking them about trap games. They all say the same thing, that there are no trap games in the NFL. Cincinnati has a lot of talent. You can't look past them. But in the back of your mind as a team that you are going to be measured by how you compete against the New England Patriots.
Right.
And the Patriots have been on top of the mountain for so long, but you got to get past Cincinnati to be in a position to be in the conversation. So it's a big game tomorrow. It's a home opener, so that's another factor. You're going to have the fans behind you acting crazy, so that should help them out a lot. But they've got to take care of business tomorrow before we can really start looking towards the New England Patriots.
And once again, we're here live with Pat Freeman, the mighty. Check his show out on the YouTube channel, Pro Talk with the Mighty Oba, and you can follow him on Facebook at the Mighty Oba 716, and that's THEMIGHTYOBA 716. Last question I have to ask you. H.O. mentioned the trap game or so on, and then you play New England. How relieved are you, or as Buffalo, whatever, that AB is not with the Patriots?
Well, that helps. He is a great talent, but obviously the Patriots felt that they needed to part ways with him after that other information started coming out yesterday. It's turning into a nightmare for AB, and that's unfortunate because this guy can really, really play. And I think it is fortunate that he is not coming to Buffalo because dealing with Josh Gordon and AB, are you kidding me? And Dorsett, oh, my goodness. That's a lot. I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, it seems like New England has gotten a lot better. And they play strong defense. So this is going to be a very tough game next week. But first, you got to handle business with Cincinnati.
All right. There you have it. My man, Pat Freeman. And we appreciate you for coming on. We look forward to your interviews on tomorrow and in the future. And look forward to have you on once again.
All right, buddy.
All right, thanks. We'll be right back with more sports talk. 3-point conversion.
What's up, world? This is Vincent J, aka the Fantasy Guru, and here are your fantasy facts heading to Week 3. One person you should consider starting this week is Tampa Bay Buccaneers quarterback Jameis Winston. He improved his play in Week 2 at Carolina after his disastrous play Week 1 against the 49ers. He's playing at home against an awful New York Giants team that has allowed over 23 fantasy points to Josh Allen and Dak Prescott, so this game should be a breakout game we're all been waiting for. One player who I benched this week is Denver Broncos running back Phillip Lindsay. In Week 2 against Chicago, his teammate running back Royce Freeman played a high percentage of snaps compared to Lindsay, and Freeman was used more in the passing game. We'll see what happens this week when he plays on the road against the Green Bay Packers, but we might start seeing a switch in carries if Lindsay continues to struggle. My sleeper pick this week is San Francisco 49ers defense. They're playing at home against the Big Benless Pittsburgh Steelers. The 49ers are 2-0, winning both games on the road with 7 sacks, 4 interceptions, and 2 defensive touchdowns. Still be extra pumped playing in their first home game heading to their Week 4 bye. Before I go, I want to give a huge shout out to NBA Hall of Famer Dennis "The Worm" Rodman, who just said in a recent interview on The Breakfast Club that he's been sober for 4 months. If you have not watched his ESPN 30 for 30 documentary, please do. It's a must-see. Now, if you want to check out more fantasy facts and my alls and alls, make sure you continue to follow me on the web at the3pointconversion.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is Cat Williams, and you are listening to 3-Point Conversion Radio.
All right, we are back inside a 3-point conversion sports lounge. Man, we're just in a giving spirit today. I want to give another stop it to Vincent Jackson, the fantasy guru. Bro, how you going to bring up basketball player in a fantasy break?
Stop it.
Then you bring up the 4-letter network and all that.
Stop it.
You know how I feel about them. No, I'm just kidding. I rock with ESPN. They've been showing us love for some reason, but Dennis Rodman. Surprised you didn't bring up Marvin Hagler in that segment. But anyway, we do have someone that this man, you talk about putting in work, always putting in work. He's putting in work as we speak right now, but still finds time to call in to talk about injuries. And that's Dr. Donnie Fowler, the third orthopedic from Ortho Atlanta. What's up, Doc?
What's up, fellas? Happy Saturday.
Yes, sir.
What's up, Doc? How you doing, Doc?
You all right?
Doing well. Yeah, coming at you from Richmond, Virginia today, so hanging out.
Doc, you know what? I have a question to jump off this segment, and it might be a surprise. I know I didn't talk to you about it, but okay, Isaiah Thomas suffered a ruptured radial-collateral ligament in his left thumb. Did he just jam his thumb badly, or what is that? Is that a nice way to say it?
I mean, so radial and ulnar collateral ligaments are the two kind of main ligaments around most joints. That's why you have them in your elbow, you have them in your thumb, multiple body parts. But it's essentially, yes, I guess the fancy orthopedic way of saying you have a really bad sprain of your thumb where you damage some of the ligaments.
Okay. So that means I've had a couple of those in my lifetime. Okay, I was wondering.
And is this something he can play through since it is his shooting hand?
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah, so that makes sense. Yeah. All right, but the original question I had was, and we've been talking about this throughout the show, first with Drew Brees, he has a hand injury. What is the actual time, realistic time? I know they say 6 to 8 weeks. They didn't want to put him on IR because they wanted to save him. They didn't want to wait to the 10th week or 10 weeks later or 9 weeks, whatever it is. But how long, is it more of just how he heals, or is it really a timetable?
Yeah, I think in his case, with it being one of those thumb ligaments, but in his throwing hand where he has to grip the ball, a little more important for a quarterback, the ligament itself, the soft tissue, probably takes somewhere between 4 to 6 weeks to fully heal. Though I'm guessing be doing a lot of different treatment modalities to try to speed that up as quickly as possible. So I think they're trying to be optimistic that it will certainly be sooner rather than later. And like you said, that's why they didn't put him on IR, which would force him out for another 8 weeks. So I think 6 is kind of the number to plan for, as long as there's no setbacks, but we'll just have to see how he does. So,
now, Big Ben actually wasn't touched when he injured his elbow that put him out for the season. Like, can you tell us what happened, and how do you see this affecting his future and coming back to play next year?
Yeah, I feel like there's still a lot of question marks out there about really what's going on with his elbow. Most of the stuff you read has been kind of tight-lipped, and they haven't actually commented on what is going on. There was some speculation that it was his ulnar collateral ligament, like Tommy John ligament in, the pitcher. But then there's reports saying that it's not that, and he's actually had elbow pain for a long time, and maybe that kind of last throw was a straw that broke the camel's back. So I think he does have some ligament damage in his elbow, whether it's that Tommy John ligament or not, and maybe even some nerve issues with that ulnar nerve as well. He seems to be pretty confident that he's going to be back next season and wants to be back next season. So I do think he'll come back, but he's getting up there in age. I think it's going to be a harder rehab for him. So I'm not sure, to be honest, if he's going to be the same version of himself when he does come back. But
Doc, this H.O., your number one Duke guy. Congratulations, DJ Stewart. That's all I'm going to say about that.
Oh, my gosh.
That's an inside thing. Y'all won't understand that. But anyway, talking a little football, everybody probably in Atlanta and in Carolina are concerned about Mr. Cam Newton. Not only his shoulder, but his ankle. I want to ask you, which are you more concerned about or worried about as far as Cam Newton getting back to the Cam Newton that everybody knew of? Is it his shoulder or the ankle?
Yeah, I mean, he can't seem to stay healthy. Short term, it seems like the foot and the ankle is the bigger issue. He had hurt it in the preseason, and now it seems like if he doesn't have enough time to recover on shorter rests, that he's not ready to go. So I'll kind of hedge myself and say short term foot and ankle, but long term I'm still probably more worried about that shoulder that he's had to have a couple surgeries on. So
yeah, is there a remedy for what he has going through, or as far as the injuries, is there a remedy for him to get back healthy 100%?
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately with the foot and ankle, I think it's more time than anything else, and allowing the body to heal, which is tough when you're trying to push and still play. The shoulder, again, he needed a surgery and then needed another surgery after that to clean out some scar tissue that formed when they operated on his rotator cuff. So I'm hoping he's done with the surgical side and just needs continued strengthening and time more than anything with the shoulder too. I don't know if there's necessarily anything specific for either one, but he's a bigger guy, he's a physical guy, he's going to keep taking hits, and you kind of wonder, how he's going to keep playing for another 5-6 years at this point based on where he's at now.
Right. All right, and once again, we're here live with Dr. Donnie Fowler III, orthopedic for Ortho Atlanta. Last question we have for you: how in the world was Anthony Rizzo in the lineup after being diagnosed with an ankle sprain and bone bruise that would likely have him out for the season, and then 2 days later, his first at bat, we shocked that he's playing, he hits a home run. I mean, the Cubs suck. They lost, but go ahead.
Yeah, no, pretty speedy recovery. I think that honestly, if this wasn't the end of the season, and no offense to my Chicago people there, if the Cubs weren't so desperate at this point, they probably wouldn't have trot him out there that quickly. But so I think that their back was up against the wall. Baseball is a little different than football and basketball. I'm not saying it's obviously not a physical sport, but you can kind of control what you're doing, I think, a little bit more on a baseball field as far as your movements and kind of hitting. So I think the fact that it is baseball and not one of those other sports is part of the reason why he has been able to kind of surprise people and come back a little bit sooner. My guess is he's probably gotten some injections and all that kind of stuff too to try to get the inflammation and swelling down as fast as possible so they can be mobile out there. So
all right, yeah, and I guess you're right, because I think we was thinking about just sitting him out like you said. Hopefully he come back, but when we saw what happened to Duke when Zion got hurt and they rest him and then they lost, they choked. So you're right.
Yeah, we just lost.
Wow. I'm just playing. I was messing with you. Wow. Hey man, that hurt when you said that, man.
We just lost with him anyway.
Right. When you said desperate, that hurt because we losing with him now. Jeez. But I'm just messing with you, Doc. All right, man.
Yeah. We're about to get into the MLB too.
All right. Jeez. All right. No, we appreciate you, man, once again calling in, sir. And make sure you stay safe, sir. We'll talk to you next week. All right.
All right. Have a good one, fellas. Thanks.
All right. People don't understand. I got the mic. I'm getting the last laugh. No, I'm just playing.
You on the dig?
All right, we're going to take a quick break. We'll get on these Atlanta Braves and MLB. Keep it locked.
Have a sports injury? Need to see an orthopedic doctor? Ortho Atlanta is one of Metro Atlanta's largest orthopedic and sports medicine practices, providing orthopedic and sports medicine care for the whole family. With 37 physicians and 14 offices, the practice provides the highest level of care for injury of muscles, joints, bones, and spine. Ortho Atlanta offers convenient access to a full range of musculoskeletal surgeons and specialists. Ortho Atlanta also offers on-site physical therapy, pain management care, MRI imaging, and workers' compensation care. The Ortho Atlanta surgery centers in Austell and Fayetteville provide cost-effective, same-day surgical procedures in an accredited outpatient center. Hip, knee, shoulder, back pain? Ortho Atlanta has you covered with specialists in all areas. Same-day appointments, orthopedic care for the whole family. Ortho Atlanta, Atlanta's choice for orthopedic and sports medicine care. Learn more at www.orthoatlanta.com.
This is Leilani Mitchell from the Phoenix Mercury, and you're listening to the 3-Point Conversion.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. All right, let's get into this MLB. So right now, Minnesota still has a 4-game lead. Man, that's going down to the end. But Cleveland will watch it. They might be out of the running period for the wild card because the Rays are 91-63, and so right now, and then you have Oakland, they're 93-61. So with the wild card, it looks like, Cleveland they're tied with Tampa, but they can't afford to lose. They're out, period.
Yeah, the margin of error for Cleveland is shrinking. They have to continue to win. Minnesota has not clinched yet, but we was talking about Cleveland last week, and I think Cleveland margin of error is shrinking very, very, very quickly.
Quickly. And in the NL East, when the National League, like we mentioned, we're getting to that. It's a wrap for that. The Cubs, wow. The Cubs are 5 games back, and Milwaukee is only 3 games back in the Central. And in the wild card, it's looking like, let's see. I don't know, man. This is you're surprised that the Milwaukee is still in there because they lost Yelich.
They've been playing better,
and they traded Aguilera.
Yeah, that trade. And right now, the wild card teams are Washington and Milwaukee, and Chicago Cubs looking.
Right now, they're 21% to make the playoffs.
Who, the Cubs?
Yeah, Brewers 8-2 in their last 10. After you,
they 76% to make the playoffs.
Yeah, so.
Hey, man.
So, I mean, it's still it's still tight.
Definitely.
We'll see what happens.
They can change. And we still got 5-6 games against St. Louis.
But I think we still need to focus on Washington because Washington, they've been quiet the whole year, man. You don't really hear a lot about them. When they went on that winning streak, you heard a smidget, but
they 96% of chance of making the playoffs.
So let me ask you: is this the team that's dangerous in the National League?
No.
You think?
Nationals.
I think they could sneak up on somebody.
I think they could. They just happen to be in a division where Atlanta doing their thing.
Right. That's basically it. But they played well since the second half of the season. Maybe they've been very consistent.
They got the third best record in the whole National League.
Man,
1, 2, 3. Yeah,
I'm telling you,
third best record. So, you can make an argument.
Is there a team that you think, American League, National League, that people are not really thinking about? that could be that team to get in it?
I do.
Who?
Minnesota.
That's what I was thinking.
That's where I was going to, because nobody thought they were going to be there already, and then they're there, and all they do is remember I've been saying Cleveland gonna catch them, Cleveland gonna catch them, they're gonna fall, and all they've done is win. They got some hitters, yo.
And the thing about it is, and the reason I say Minnesota is we can go to the Yankees, we can talk about, and the Red Sox got eliminated too, by the way. We can talk about the Braves, we can talk about the Houston Astros, we can talk about the Dodgers. We can all name a superstar on their team, right? But when you go to Minnesota, I can ask an average sports fan, an average baseball fan, name me 3 players on Minnesota team.
G is
Name me 3 players on Minnesota's team, and
Kirby Puckett, Joe Mauer,
Paul Molitor,
Dave Winfield, Jack Morris,
Kent Herbeck,
I hate Rick Gagne.
What? I hate Herbeck.
But so you see my point, right? And this is the kicker, right? This is what's going to surprise everybody. They have 293 home runs as a team.
And I think it's 4 or 5 with 20 plus, right?
No, it's 8.
8 with 20 plus.
Yeah.
And you can't even name them.
Nope.
That's the point.
So no.
Nelson Cruz, Kepler, Jonathan Scoop.
Something with a B. What's his last
even
name?
The catcher, Galver, 31 home runs. Listen, the Minnesota Twins, and I'm a Braves fan, so it's hard for me to say this. They can sneak up on anybody. The Astros need to watch out, and the Yankees need to watch out, because they have it. They got good relief pitching. They got a good 2 starters with Perez and the number 1 guy. They got a solid and a balanced team. Trust me when I tell you, this is the team that can sneak up on anybody as far as the playoff is concerned, that nobody is paying attention to.
So a team that no one is sleeping on, and they can't sneak up on anybody, is those darn Atlanta Braves. They won they clinched the National League East. Second year in a row. Yep. I said this last week or the week before, I can't remember. I'm not going to lie, man. I kind of see them going on a magnificent run again as far as multiple years of winning, because they're so young. And it's not like the NBA where it's like, well, we only pay 3 of y'all and that's it. Right. It don't work like that. Your thoughts, sir, like we talked about how shocked we were that they're at this point. What has been the formula? What has it been? Is it more of Snicker? How he's, because we talked about, my boy didn't play. They didn't, they kept Donaldson in. They didn't panic. Look what he's been able to develop to.
Numbers.
And is it that the lineup, or is it 2 particular people? What?
I think it's a combination of a lot of different things. I think scouting is one, to be able to draft players when they was going through a run between 2014 and 2017 where they didn't even make the playoffs. So the scouting to draft players and to trade and get players like a Dansby Swanson, Ender, drafting Acuna, Albies, and people like that, being able to believe in Freddie. So the scouting part has done a wonderful job. And for AA to come in to get them out of a mess that they were in as far as contracts, speaks a lot. And he has made some deals over the years. Made some deals over the last couple of years, like a Donaldson, like a Keuchel, with a restricted amount of a budget. And then Snick being and I know people hate to hear this, but being sort of like a Bobby Cox kind of coach, which is a player's coach that allows them to play through different struggles and believes in them and things of that nature. We can go with the fact that they made a trade for 3 relievers over the trade deadline, and for the first 2 weeks, it looked like it was a dead deal.
Right.
But he kept believing in them and kept allowing them to pitch through their struggles. Unfortunately, Lou Jackson probably hadn't gotten to that point. But these three guys has come in now, and it looks like that they have probably one of the best bullpens going into the playoffs. And not to even speak about the starting pitching, where Fulton-Nevich was hurt at the beginning of the season and throughout, and the last 9 games that he's pitched in, they've won. Now he's 8-5. Now he's a potential. They have a problem in naming the top 3 guys or the top 4 guys who's going to even pitch in the playoffs because they have developed so well. So I say the scouting team, AA, which is Anthopoulos, and the combination of Snick and allowing these players to have fun and just play ball has contributed to this whole thing. So there you have it.
I know we're going to revisit this later on, especially in the playoffs, and if they go further on. Do you think this team gets it done and they don't do what the last great Braves teams did by going back to the World Series but failing? Do you think this team, not even this year, but do you think this team gets it done? And if so, do you think it was Bobby Cox? Woo! That might be another segment, baby.
Look at Acuna's stat line, man. 281, 41, and 101.
Yeah. I think that they can get it done because they have young talent. They have a player in Acuna that we've never seen. A leadoff hitter with 40 home runs and 100 RBIs. We've never seen that. Right. Let's be honest. We've never seen that. You had consistent hitting. The Braves lacked in the past hitters. They lacked leadoff hitters. They were just basically home run hitters and things of that nature. The Braves can beat you in a number of ways. I mentioned it last time. Acuna's three stolen bases away from getting 40 stolen bases. That's not something that we see in today's game. This is the advantage that the Braves have over a whole lot of teams like Minnesota and like the Dodgers. They don't steal bases. They don't create runs, and the Braves can do that. So with this young, talented team, with the pitching staff that they have and the belief that they have with Snicker, I think this is an opportunity for them to go on the road and they can get things done moving forward.
All right. There you have it. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be right back.
What's good, family? I'm Marlon Sucker Free Jones, a Sucker Free Life Double LC, and I'm locked in every Saturday to the best sports show on the planet, the 3-Point Conversion, with no team or no players off limits. So let's talk sports, the best of the best, the worst of the worst, and everything in between. Can you dig that?
It's time to get in the mind of Mr. Controversy and the Intellectual with What's on My Mind.
All right, we are back inside the 3-Point Conversion Sports Lounge. And this is what's on my mind. And the segment, we're going to talk about what's on our mind. We're going to get 2 minutes uninterrupted. Just go in on what we have. So, what's on my mind is, I think that with this situation with AB, and everybody talks about how AB is upset. I mean, AB is tripping. He's horrible. He's doing, which he is. He's done some bad things. But you know what? The difference with all the other people like T.O., like Rodman, All these other guys, taking a hockey, Bob Probert. Those villains, which AB is definitely a villain right now, they welcome that. I don't know if AB has welcomed the villain tag yet. If he welcomes the villain tag, I think he would make his decisions will be more of to basically boost him in that villain role, but take advantage of that and use that energy to channel it towards playing. Rodman did it. Rodman went through hell, but once he got to that point, he started balling. T.O. in Dallas, he took it. I think after Philly, he took it and channeled it. You know, you see a lot of villain in sports that love that role. The only way for AB to I mean, his talent is great. But the only way to me for him to be successful in his league and to go a different route is to want that role, want to be the villain, and then do his thing. Use his platform. Don't go crazy now. But that's the thing about a villain. You know how to just go to the edge and piss people off, but still not go too far to where you get kicked off, because you want to be on the team. You want to be relevant. So I want to see AB do this, accept the villain role. This is what it is. We don't like you no more. People don't like you. Accept that. Channel that with good energy as far as, on the field. Be able to go to the edge and not tip over. It'd be all right. That's what's on my mind.
Definitely. That's a great analogy of all of that. So what's on my mind today?
What is? No, I'm just saying.
In 2015, when the Cubs lost in the playoffs, we still had that energy that, something was on the horizon. Like, we felt it. You know what I mean? Like, it's coming. We got a good team that's going to be here for years, a team that's going to compete for years. Following year, we went on to win the World Series. So we expecting not many teams win back to back to back. So it wasn't necessarily we were expecting to maybe win the World Series for the next 3 years, but definitely be competitive and kind of have a little, should we say, dynasty coming along. Here we are in 2019, and the Cubs barely are. As of right now, they're not even in the playoffs. For me, last year, losing a wild card game, to me, that's still not making the playoffs. Just going to the wild card game, for me, that's not going to the playoffs. So I say all of this to say that this Cub team core that was put together has been a huge disappointment. I think there definitely should have been more wins, even going further in the playoffs. Again, not necessarily winning the World Series every year. Like, I mean, we can look at the Dodgers and see they've been one of the best teams, and they still haven't even gotten the opportunity, to win the World Series, but they're there. Like, we expect them to be in the National League Division Series, that's what their expectations. However, with these Cubs, it has been a huge disappointment, and we may be seeing the end of this team, this core team that we've seen for these last 3 to 4 years. And it's just a huge disappointment, and that's what's on my mind.
Told you Madden is about to go. That's been the talk.
Is it all him, though? Like, yeah. You know what I mean?
All right, what's on my mind, man, is we hear about the NBA Board of Governors approving to stricken this policy about tampering with some consequences and things of that nature. But let's think about it. How do we even define tampering? How can you legislate what's tampering or not? This is, to me, a way to control everything that all of the players actually are doing or can do. Because now you're talking about looking at communication devices just to see what the conversation is. Now you're talking about with your agents. Now you're getting to so personal with these things that it's going to start to be a little petty. And my whole point is, why all of this? Why all of a sudden now? What's the problem now? It's like trying to say, and we forgot to probably mention this, everybody getting the bag in college sports as far as college football, college basketball, these big programs, things of that nature. Yeah, okay. But it's like we got to catch you or because we know you're doing it. Tampering is going to go on. I want to play with this guy. I want to play. That's an opinion. So if you in the interview, you got to stop what you really want to say because $10 million might be fined by the team. I mean, what are we really trying to do with this approved measure of tampering? How many times have we even said this is the law? You can't hold your phone while you drive. But I can ask everybody in here, how many times you've seen people hold their phone while they drive? Why make the rule? Why even have it in place? Look at the circumstances. I just think it's ludicrous. And that's what's on my mind.
Player movement. They put the players have took control and they don't like it. That's complete. That's what I think it's about.
And then it affects me because now I can't ask a question. So because you're a free agent next year, would you like to play with?
I don't want to get fined $10 million.
Right.
I'm sorry.
He mad at me.
Right. Then I might take your cell phone.
Right.
Because you might want to just text it.
Right. All right. If you hear that music, you already know what it means. It means it's time to let you go. But before we let you go, we have a couple of shout-outs. And stay tuned because you might be one of them. First of all, I want to give a shout-out to the almighty God for giving me this platform and do what I do, say what I say. Just to have fun doing this, man. I love it. We continue to grow and to grow in this. To make you all happy, mad, upset, want to give me the stop it button. Hey, God, I appreciate you.
Thank you, Raphael.
Yes. And I also want to thank our guest, Ray J. Lynn, for coming on, the Battlegrounds champ of 2019. We're setting up you and Damian going at it. Also, I want to thank our other guest, Pat Freeman, the Mighty Oprah, for coming in talking Buffalo Bills, and then Dr. Donald Fowler for coming on. And, of course, our special family, my man, H.O., the superstar.
Man, I appreciate it, man. Shout out to 3 Point Conversion. Shout out to Pat, Doc, and Ray, man, calling in each and every Saturday. It's so fun during football season because you can smell it in the air. So appreciate you guys, Mr. Controversy, the Intellectual G, of course, who's always pushing them buttons. And, man, each and every Saturday, man, this is where we at doing our thing, man. And
yes, sir.
Proud of it.
Hey, and I want to thank G, of course, engineer, and the intellectual, my road dog.
Definitely thanks to the utmost, God, for giving us this platform. Thanks for everybody continuously listening, friends, family, everybody that pay attention to us, wherever it's at, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, our page, 3 Point Conversion. Everywhere y'all follow us at, and those that reach out, and whether it's on Facebook, calling in, shout out to Bruce for calling in, giving us his opinion. We definitely want more of y'all to do that. And just thanks to everybody for listening. We appreciate y'all, friends and family. And everybody, definitely have a great weekend. It's going to be a beautiful weekend this weekend.
All right, and I want to thank my family and friends, beautiful wife, children, brothers and sisters, cousins, nieces, nephews, uncles, aunties, grandparents, play cousins. Make sure you love everyone. Let everybody know that you love them while they're still alive. Love on them. Eat good. Watch some sports, football, all types of sports, and most importantly, just have fun, man. Until then, next time, same show, same crazy host, same sports nonsense. Will you miss me? I'm out. Peace.
Peace.
You just got done listening to the 3 Point Conversion Sports Lounge, Be sure to follow us on our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook accounts at The 3 Point Conversion. And also make sure you check out our website, the3pointconversion.com. Be sure to follow us live and listen every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern.
What it do, baby?
Stop it.